Every day you give me Pepsi, Pepsi. One to the left like be a lag and stout. Oh yeah. Mr. Chin, for you feel send the right thing now, Mr. Chin. For you feel send the right. Hey, Mr. Chin. Every day you give me Pepsi, Pepsi. One to the left like be a lag and stout. Oh yeah. Mr. Chin, for you feel send the right thing now, Mr. Chin. For you feel send the right. Hey, Mr. Chin. Every day you give me Pepsi, Pepsi. One to the left like be a lag and stout. Oh yeah. Mr. Chin, for you feel send the right thing now, Mr. Chin. For you feel send the right thing now, Mr. Chin. For you feel send the right thing now, every man. Hey, Mr. Chin. Every day you give me Pepsi, Pepsi. One to the left like be a lag and stout. Oh yeah. Mr. Chin, for you feel send the right thing now, Mr. Chin. For you feel send the right thing now, Mr. Chin. For you feel send the right thing now, every man. Slam down, down, dilly, dilly, no way. You feel send the right thing now. John know say me fat. John know me no slim. Do all you got to. All right. Hey, guess what? It's just a quick dropping by into your living rooms, into your cars, wherever you are listening to. We'll just give you guys a couple of minutes to warm up, a couple of minutes to share the link and let folks know that we are on. And the person on the screen there is the former minister in the coalition government, the democratically elected government of Guyana that was actually overthrown by Trump and his corrupt cohorts. So Simona Broomes is going to be with me for a couple of minutes because Simona Broomes' name is calling in the Sioux Gates. Now, Simona Broomes' name is calling in the Sioux Gates situation. Her name is being called in the Sioux Gates situation. And so, we love to get to the bottom of situations and not to allow Jagdeo and his cohorts them to divert the attention. The attention basically is on Jagdeo, allegations, serious allegations, mind you, of corruption. And those allegations were purportedly made by a Mr. Sioux, businessman Mr. Sioux. And we heard that revelation as it came out of a Vice News report. That Vice News report has not yet, it's not officially out. And Jagdeo, they're gone in what is called defense mode, defense technique that they're using to divert attention. Now, concern should not be about who Mr. Sioux knows in the PNC or APNU or AFC or whatever, or whether Sioux knows Ben Sharp. Let me make this clear. I don't know Sioux, right? The only Sioux I know is Suan Sioux, and I haven't seen Suan Sioux in many, many years. That's the only Sioux. So let me just get that off the bat. But what we are hearing is that Sioux knows some folks in the opposition. Now, opposition. So what we're hearing is Sioux knows some folks in the opposition. One of the names that's being mentioned is Simona Broomes, Miss Simona Broomes. And so Broomes is with me. She is with me because I want to find out from her whether she knows Sioux, whether she has any business relationship with Sioux, whether she sat and had any sort of maybe lunch at New Driving or wherever with Sioux, whether she has
like I've said, I want to get to the bottom of that. And that is why you guys are seeing me here this morning, right? Again, Jagdeo has denied, or he is saying he has denied the allegations that Sue paid him a bribe. He has denied that. And not only has he denied that, he has denied that he's saying that Sue has also denied that. But we don't know whether Sue has denied anything or not. We're just hearing that Jagdeo said that Sue has denied the allegations that he has been caught up in bribery, corruption with Sue and maybe others. Just want to make it clear that Jack Deere has denied that, right? As expected. You don't expect him to say, yes, he's corrupt. Yes, he knows Sue. Yes, he knows Sue. Sue is his tenant. But one of the other things that's interesting, he is saying that Sue is his tenant, but he doesn't know how Sue makes his money, where Sue gets the money from to pay his rent. I don't know, but he rented his property to Sue. That is according to him, right? But he is denying that he has taken a bribe from Sue. We'll get into that shortly. Look who we have with us. Look, I called Simona Broomes at the last minute. I say, hey, your name is calling. She said, what? They calling Simona Broomes' name again? Right? And she has agreed to be on with me because she has nothing, according to Miss Broomes, absolutely nothing to hide. Good afternoon. And how are you doing, Miss Broomes?
I'm blessed, Mark. How are you?
I'm quite well, thank you. And I know that I caught you when you were busy doing some chores around the house. And
Yes.
it is quite a surprise that you rush and you put on a beautiful blouse. Good to see you.
Good to see you too, and good afternoon to your audience.
Yep, thank you so much. But let's get straight into business. Your name is being called as being affiliated with this guy, Mr. Sue. Um, Give us a quick rundown on whether the allegation or the rumors are true or not. Sorry, about your relationship, if any at all, with Mr. Sue, this guy.
Well, Mark, first thing, don't let us shift this goalpost. Voice or this foreign media, they were not here to interview me, neither am I under any investigation. So don't let us shift this goalpost at all. In fact, I don't know how because I learned through you that my name is calling. Um, by some question that was posed at a press conference that I don't know of, I'm not interested in that either because Sharon had a program and something was sent to me. But the boy that posted the stuff on his page, he did not show a picture with me and the gentleman in question. In fact, he was treading on a line, did not accuse me. I'm not accused of anything. But just to clarify to persons, because I don't know what is the question or why my name can come up there. At any press conference as it relates to the gentleman in question. Um, Privately, as a businesswoman, I mean, I've never done business there. Persons know I served as a minister of government and I did it to the best of my ability and above board. I don't know that my name was called or ever been investigated for the gentleman, but I want to say outrightly, I am not a part of that mess. So for one to post a question at a press conference to raise my name, like you mentioned to me, I find it to be out of place and out of order. Because there's no facts there, there's anything there. So what is it you want to do? You want to shift the goalposts? You want to look at people to tarnish their reputation? No, 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 no. I am not going there. I want to say that it's a shame on the gentleman that made the post. You're talking about one Guyana and one people, and you're the minister responsible and supposed to be responsible for culture because we don't have a ministry of social cohesion. And for you to be so irresponsible and attacking women or trying to scandal women I think it is horrible. I want to ask all the women in this country, you know where some of these folks stand when it comes to us, and an attack on one woman is an attack on all. So outrightly, I want to say that if even if Sivarn's waste management garbage truck was passing when the question was posed, maybe the person that might have gone there because it's garbage. I don't know anything about that. You
All right.
understand? I'm not gonna even touch there
Yeah,
because I'm not in that lane, that
but you,
corruption lane and that lane. I'm not there.
but you know what? And that is why we're exposing them to let the people know that they're diverting attention from this here. This is what is in the heat, and this is what the Vice News reporter actually questioned Jagdeo about. So they're attempting now to divert attention. Take a quick look at this.
Source.
Okay, well,
Maybe the Chinese company that did not get the agreement that they wanted here, maybe they're the ones who told you, or it could be just a fictitious thing.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Sujarong?
So my relationship, nothing. He's a tenant in my place. Yeah.
And he's a good friend of yours?
Yes. Yes. He is a friend of ours. His father was here from many years ago.
I mean, he lives next door to you.
Yes.
You know, he was able to arrange meetings and catch-ups with you at any point in the day. He claims
As a friend, yeah.
He claims that through his very close relationship with you, that he's able to get any deal.
You know, and that's just part of the interview with the Vice News reporter about allegations made by Mr. Su. And I just want our listeners to know, and those who are viewing us via Facebook, to know that what Jagdeo and his cohorts are doing, including that boy that you've mentioned, and for many folks who don't know who we are referring to, is a post that was made on Charles Ramson Jr.'s page, alluding to the fact that you, Miss Simona Broomes, along with Joe Harmon, I've tried to make contact with Mr. Harmon so that he can respond to what is being said. And so I wasn't able to get in touch with him, but I got you. You are here to debunk that, to say that you have never met Mr. Su, you have never done any business with Mr. Su, you don't know Mr. Su. And is that what you're saying?
I mean, Mark, I'm saying that I'm not going to touch it. I'm not a friend. I don't have Mr. Su as a tenant or anything at all. I can't recall. I saw the gentleman pitch up on social media. I mean, every Chinese look alike, to be quite honest, or every person
Mr.
like.
Mark.
But yeah, I've done no business. I have nothing, so I'm not going to even savvy myself to go there. I'm going to repeat what I said. I'm not on the investigation. Voice did not come to interview me. And I want to say that I don't know how the media would have asked such a question, because even the boy who made his post said, you know, if you look at the language, because I sent it to a lawyer also earlier when I saw it, just to be guided. If there is any way there of implication, I mean, I'm hurt. I don't know if I can go to the cybercrime. I'm finding out all of that for pain and suffering, you know, and emotional distress. That's the line I was coming down from. But I'm not going to go there. You see, Mark, we got to be careful when people trying to shift a goalpost. And, you know, I thought it would have been in his best interest to leave that alone by itself and have it to die of natural death until. But not to try to associate me. And that's why I want to make very clear here. In no way, form, or fashion as it relates to corruption. I repeat, I don't like repeating myself. I serve in these ministries as minister within the ministry. I sign no paper and give nobody no land, my name in there, or nothing for absolutely nothing. And I thank God for his faithfulness. I I'm here unblemished, continuing to do what I love to do, is to serve my people, and by extension, my country. And that is what I will continue to do. I'm not going to be distracted um, by these little boys running all over the place, and I think he's out of line. And for heaven's sake, I don't know, Mark. Who made you ask that question? Can I ask you?
Yeah, I'm not even. I can't even recall. But the question was basically um, in the area of what that little boy posted, which was alleging some form of connection with you to Sue. And again, you're saying for all to hear and all to understand that you have no relationship with Sue. You have never met Sue before.
I am renting a house, Mark. What is it that I could have? I ain't dealing with land. I'm not dealing with any of these things, right? I don't know. I saw the person send a picture, and in the picture I looking to see, but the gentleman in question, he was not in the picture or anything. I mean, I would have gone all over taking pictures or anything, but I have no connection. No,
Okay,
I have
so
no
this
connection.
this this is the picture. This is Sue. You're saying
Oh,
that even as a minister or even as a businesswoman, you've never met this guy. You've never done any business with him. That's all
well,
I'm
I've
asking.
done. I'm going to say very on the record, I've done no businesses with him. I had no business. I don't do anything strange or under the table. Um, his face, I'm seeing him now. I can't recall ever seeing him. And that's the truth. I don't even know. I'm trying to, when I see this man name surface up, I'm trying to see who is the person. No, but not at all. And again, Mark, I'm baffled, and that's why I just want to stay far from it, because even in the boy's allegation or his posts, I want to see where this is coming from, that it can even get any traction to raise a question. He talked about what mingling. I can't even recall the language, right? That this boy used. You see me? So I'm not going to have them to shift the goalposts.
Exactly, and I think that's exactly what they want to do is to
That's what I
shift
want to do.
the goalpost. Are you though, Miss Brooms? Are you surprised that this story seemed to have died so far in Guyana with this these sort of serious allegations of bribery level against Mr. Jagdeo? That even the media over there are not concerned about that, but they are now concerned about you, whether you uh, have had any sort of connection with Mr. Su. They seem to be more concerned about that than the allegations level against Jack Deere.
Yeah,
Are you
but that's why
surprised?
I wanted to know who media it was, because I'm not going to say the entire media, because I mean the persons in the media. This is something on somebody Facebook page, and where you go in, maybe there are persons who are trying to chase shift a narrative, and trying to just move a post, and they're working around something. Maybe that's the reason in the first place that the post was made, and my name was mentioned, and picture, because where are you coming with this, and so on, where are you heading with this? So I know that Guyanese people are there, and they know everybody. It's one thing, big country but few people, and so we all know each other. We know who corrupt and who incorrupt. We know who take people money and who take bribe and all of that. Because nothing in this place, it don't stay nowhere. It's all over the place. And I am not in that bunch. And I'm not going to even attempt to associate myself with that, to answer to whoever asks whatever clumsy question, or the post that was there. I had a live, I think this morning, was addressing that. And what I'm finding out, because of pain and suffering and so forth, is how I can be advised legally to deal with legal aspects of things. Because these days people could sue people and so on. There's a law now, and the law is for all of us. So I'm looking down that line, Mark, and please, I am not going to go down that road. Not Brooms. Somebody else. Somebody else.
Absolutely. And again, people are not surprised that Jack Deere and the PPP and their cohorts, that little boy and so forth, are trying to divert attention. But you're not at all surprised that the media out there in Guyana are not focused on on investigations or investigation, sorry, against Jack Deere. The allegations of bribery, we're not seeing Soku, the CID headquarters, they're not doing anything about that. Are you at all surprised that nothing is being done at the local level concerning those sort of serious allegations of bribery against Jagdeo.
But Mark, let me answer you like this. From 1992 to 2015, it seems to me like everybody went to sleep, everybody migrated. 2015 to 2020, everybody out there looking for corruption, and the media, everybody, and they talks. They ain't gotta get facts on anything, and they're going on and on and on and on. But these days, after the August in 2020 now, there's another shift again. So certain things, persons are not interested in when it comes to certain people. You understand? What the media, the person who you're saying, I mean, you didn't know who the media, I didn't look at it either today, that posed the question. Maybe they should have gone to the persons who name were called and who the voice interview. They should have gone there and asked the question. They should have follow up. These guys, these people don't only pick up on voice, but you go and ask question. This was asked to you by this person and give clarity, and if but maybe the man height, his size, his weight, whatever you want to know, because they're the persons who, I mean, that mingle together, right? So not me at all, Mark. I'm really, really sorry. I can't add um to the nonsense out there.
And I'm glad that those of you who are now joining it, sometimes this is necessary to just
Yes,
nip it in
it's
the
true.
bud almost immediately, because if it's
It's true.
allowed without any response, then people will
Yes.
have some
Good.
sort of doubts and say, wait a minute,
Yeah.
is he really connected to Simona Broomes? I'm
Yeah.
glad that you're here with us this afternoon to set that record straight.
Yeah.
Um,
And
speaking,
Mark, I don't mean to cut you, Mark.
sure, that's okay.
I want to thank you. I'm really, really happy that you called me and signal on this, because oftentimes people say, "Oh, that's stupidness, don't matter with them." But what is happening here? They're trying to push a narrative, because they feel if they just throw a narrative out there and it leaves like that, then people start to wonder and ask themselves questions, although they know who you are. So I'm happy that I am able, through your program, to give clarity, or to pitch my voice immediately to say, hey, don't go down that road with me. Um, I'm not in that lane. I'm not in that lane at all, at all, at all, at all. I mean, I travel everywhere. You might take pictures and all of that. There's no picture. The picture there, so it's a narrative they want to push, because there's no picture, anything, even in the post. It is deliberate, very, very deliberate, I'm going to say, because if a question like that was raised today, it confirmed to me, hey, somebody looking for somebody to paint, but I'm not going to go down that road. I'm going to keep following it. I said early this morning, I've gone nowhere. I got my voice ready to defend myself. And don't tell me about what is petty. Oh, left them alone, the petty. No, 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 no. I'm going to take them on. I'm going to take it on day to day, night by night, as long as you come and coming into me with that. I'm not going to allow my name and my reputation out there, and people out there wondering, and then you sit back in silence thinking that you're too big of a person to answer, even if you call it stupidness. You understand? So thank you so much, Mark, for allowing me to give clarity that I am not part of that baby basket. I've done no business with this gentleman. I sit down in office again. Let me repeat over and over. I ain't sign no land. I ain't give nobody no land. I ain't make decisions. If that was so, it would have been out in the media a long time ago. You make a joke when it comes to Brooms. Look, Brooms, I heard she signed something. Um, no, never did. At the time I was in office, they had some rumors peddling, but Broom signed land to Sun, which is it was ridiculous. And of course, at the time you had Kemraj there, the Ministry of what was public security. And so even if I had gone, I think, to the cybercrime unit, they would have said, oh, this and that, and so forth. But that in itself too was untruth. There's no evidence for that. And even what people want to term as reputable media. run with those type of rumors. I mean, there was a big campaign to tarnish my reputation, and they did not succeed, and they will not succeed because whatever you do in the dark, you got to make up your mind that it is done in light.
And that is so true. Just to remind our listeners that the allegations that we're talking about, there's no allegations of corruption by level against Miss Broomes or Mr. Harmon. We haven't heard any level of corruption any corruption level against them. Miss Broomes is here to say straight out, flat out, it's just not, uh, it's she has not had any sort of business relationship with Sue or otherwise. It's not someone that she knows. He's not familiar to her. And so she is setting the record straight. But again, we want to say that Jagdeo and his cohorts are attempting to divert attention. They want you guys, they want people to be able to look in another direction. Do not stay focused on them and the allegations of corruption. Do not stay focused on them. That is what Jagdeo they want to. So what they do, they ask a little boy to just put up a little post to hint as though that Simona Broomes and Harmon, well, Mr. Harmon would speak for himself. I've attempted to reach him. He just sent a message. I sent him 2 or 3 questions for him to answer. He has thus far not responded to my questions. And so, but outside of that, again, I just want you guys to know that serious allegations have been leveled against Bharat Jagdeo of being corrupt and accepting bribes from Mr. Sue and others, even though he has denied the allegations. Let me ask you this before, because I have another question I want to ask you, Miss Broomes.
I thought it was the second you want me for. Sorry.
I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry about that. And my seconds are usually just now, right? Let me ask you this. You've heard the allegations leveled against Mr. Jagdeo, according to what Vice News has said, that Sue said. Jagdeo has since denied the allegations. You're there on the ground in Guyana. You're a businesswoman. You're a politician. I don't know if you retired from being a politician, but what is your take on those serious allegations leveled against Bharat Jagdeo?
Well, let me start from here. I don't know that Voice leveled allegations against Bharat Jagdeo and so on. I know that some questions I saw, I think it is a recording or an interview with whoever the persons was. Persons put it out there to be Voice, um, asking some questions about this gentleman. Again, I'm not in any position to pronounce on the allegations that are out there. So I am not going to pronounce on them because I don't know where it is coming from. I heard somebody reading and asking questions um, to the vice president. I don't know who the person was, what is the portfolio or anything. I learned everything else outside on social media. And so I am not going to take that to make any pronouncement on the issue. I am very sorry. Why I'm not going to do that? Because I have to speak from a standpoint of evidence and facts. I am not going to just be like some other persons who just jump up and just feel you can just say anything about anybody. If when the report, I was told again by the media that some report um, is going to be out. So when the report is out, then persons can quote from the report, or what I mean, and ask these questions, or then say, "But listen, this is something real. These are allegations, and so forth." Until then, I am not going to jump on the bandwagon to speculate. Um, as it relates to these things. These are serious allegations that were leveled. And I was looking forward and listening to see what come out from it, as it relates to the member of the parliament and the other political persons and so on. I saw some statements and heard some things, but anything to add flavor to if these allegations are true, if or not, even on the ground, and people raise the questions with me, I would normally say to them, hey, I am not going to do the yapparata. um I want to see what is this report, and then when it come out, not only what business people here do or political parties, but what happened, in the with the diplomatic corps. I mean, with oil and gas, everything has changed. A lot of people not interested in a lot of stuff. But to be quite honest, Mark, I have to be more responsible and accountable for what I say and what I put out there. And I just don't have the evidence. I just don't have the facts to speak on that matter.
All right, I can understand and I respect that, but and I know you probably don't have the evidence, neither the facts. And I wasn't alluding to that Vice News actually made that allegations, but it was aired via that interview that we saw, that portion of the interview that Vice News reporter asked Jagdeo about his knowledge of a Mr. Sue, and went on to say what Mr. Sue said. Mind you, Jagdeo has since denied all allegations of corruption and bribery. But my question basically is, are you concerned that the seriousness of these allegations have not been investigated by the Guyana Police Force or SOCU, when in fact in the past we have seen small allegations leveled against APNU folks or even folks who are connected to the APNU? They're dragged before SOCU, dragged before CID, but such a massive allegation of corruption leveled against someone who sits there as the vice president of the country. And that's mainly my concern. Are you concerned about the fact that there's a hands-on, hands-off approach in any investigations?
Well, Mark, for me personally, I think a lot of things outside of that, how it is being handled here at this time, I think a lot of things, for me, I might have my concerns about it. But where we at as a people is not if we have these concerns, is what is next? What is it we as Guyanese people prepare to accept and to live with? I made the point that had it been before 2020, if something like that, not even to that extent, was said, you would have seen a different action. So for me, while I might have my concerns and so on and opinions, I am still here looking to say, well, where are we as a people? You understand, where are we heading as a people? Because some things are really important. Some things, I mean, like you and all, you notice, not even the meat don't care to bother. The people don't bother at all.
Exactly. Let me give you and our listeners some bit of information that maybe they were not privy to. That happened many years ago. Under the PPP regime, there was a worker, an employee at the office of the president by the name of Marcel Joseph. Marcel Joseph encountered some problems while she was there. She claimed that, she was a blogger for the regime. She was blogging negative and silly things against and propaganda against political opponents at that time. And she flew out of the country. She spoke with me. She handed over some documents to me. And I was in my office in Georgetown when the ranks of the CID visited me and asked me for information, that what I knew about what this former Office of the President employee told me. And she was leveling some serious corruption allegations, mind you, against operatives there at Office of the President when Jagdeo was actually president, right? And so the point that I'm making, that the police came to me to question me about what that employee said about corruption. But they're not going to Jagdeo to question Jagdeo about even far more serious allegations of bribery and corruption. They're not doing that at all. And people are not silly. They're not stupid. They can read between the lines that the police are not, they're not concerned about going to Jagdeo to question him based on the level of allegations against him. They're not. Are you concerned that the police seem to have this hands-off approach? You've got to be concerned, aren't you?
Well, I'm not going to use the word concern with the hands-on approach, because if I'm to twist that, and if I were to talk about my experience when I was a sitting minister of government, then it would shift this whole goalpost that I don't want to shift. You understand what I mean? But the police at that time was allowed to make public press release and statement about me that was untrue, that I had no evidence about. And they were allowed, Mark. They were allowed, and all these things happened at that time. So why am I going to sit down? I want to know what the Guyanese people concerned. They're out there, all the media, everybody running with a story that got no truth, no allegation was leveled against me. I did nothing to the gentleman. I asked no question in his statements, never said I even threatened him or anything. And they had all this energy and attention there. So because of my experience, I'm not going to tell you I'm sitting down here in what at what is happening, or to lose myself over what is happening. I'm saying that Guyanese people, they have to determine what type of Guyana you want. Mark, you know what a youngster told me the other day? We were talking about the expo, or we talking about oil and gas. And he said to me, but moms, I want to tell you straight up. He said, Guyanese people right now, they ain't care nothing. If you got a dance, everybody would go to the dance. They didn't care with COVID. Somebody would come and take the whole of Guyana from here and carry it somewhere else, and they still ain't care and ain't paying attention. How you like that? Nobody seems to really care about what is happening. What you're standing, you holding public office, the gentleman holding public office. And look at the language. If you read the post, for the reason that you had to call me here, Ramson, look at the language and that is out there. Is that the type of people? If that is you, so be it. But you're holding public office. And the office that you hold, come on. Listen, man, Mark, we have to have a special program for this. I was a female minister out there, and somebody hold an umbrella. The sun was hot over my head. And that was a big, that went blowing through social media. Why is it they got to hold an umbrella, right? Why they asking, why is it? All these questions and concern. I'm not saying the concern is not real and genuine concerns, or you shouldn't have them. But I'm saying the Guyanese got to wake up, Mark. They got to wake up.
Of course, they got to wake up. I've noticed they gone right back to SOPs. That the PNC in releasing their SOPs. Jamal Sheikh. Your name sounds close enough. These guys are notorious, man. They're ridiculous. They have no shame in their comments. The elections petition is being held up in the courts, Jamal Sheikh, by the PPP. They don't want the elections petition to be heard. They have the SOPs. They don't want to release the SOPs. So why the heck are you coming and talking about let the PNC release their?
But Mark, all those documents are now with the court?
Yeah.
Ask the court why they put
Guys, holy smoke, man. It makes me want to take a strong glass of high wine right now, man. Even though I don't drink high wine or rum and them sort of things. But gosh, where these guys come from? Now,
and some of them, when you look at set of fake pages and set of fake profile and all of that.
Folks at the office of the president, they're paying people to blog under different names. But let's get back. You served in Parliament, you debated, y'all heckle each other and so forth. Have you ever seen it?
The reason why this figure was higher in you gotta get dildo. That's what you're looking for. There were snacks that had the reason why this figure was higher in You gotta get dildo. That's what you're looking for.
Talk to us, please. You were in
Mark,
Parliament.
I mean, I've seen a lot of things in the parliament. I mean, how it is now and on the floor addressing the parliament. I can't recall to that magnitude because this is not somebody sitting in the bench. Um, but within the bench of parliaments, um, I mean, as a woman, I said it a lot of time, and sometimes I will sit down and do a beautiful interview as a woman sitting in this so-called place where they call parliament and like to describe as honorable. Worse than that take place. The gentleman in question, even with myself, I mean, and what was said, I mean, not even sitting and so on, is not, I wouldn't even want to repeat it, you know what I mean, on this program and things like that. Nobody believes that, hey, you know, it is. And before 2015, what happened that I can recall, you used to see exactly what going on in the parliament. You know, you used to be outside and imagine because they never used to have all these screens, you know, when the coalition took office, they started to air it live, put screens all outside so people at the market side could follow what is happening um, in the National Assembly. Since it is, I mean, national issues that is going on there, it was not meant for the couple person sitting in the chambers. So it is a horrible place. A lot of disrespect take place there. I think as a woman, I've had to endure the most disrespect. And this is not about, you know, you would heckle each other with your jokes or so on, back and forth. You ought to know what line and how far you will take that. But my experience there, um, I would want, it's nothing that I would describe as proper. In fact, to be quite honest, I think the National Assembly needs a full overhaul. It's a fake place, and then with what is happening there and all these old colonial thing, I don't believe in going down there and bow to some of the people. I wouldn't go in there. I hate that. That's against my religion. Bowing to people not even worthy of those things, and all this drama. But to stick to the level of disrespect, I would want to put it as, you did not say that, but you showed a video. I'm not going to sit down here and say, oh, you know, this don't happen at all. It is horrible. It
So
is.
1 second. You're saying worse than that dildo
Yes.
comment
Yeah.
happened
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Parliament?
Yeah. I
And
know
when it
worse than
happens,
that.
what the speaker does?
Well, sometimes you see what happened when it's between the benches. Um, the speaker, and I want to tell you, I gotta give the past speaker his
All right,
self
sorry about
more.
that. Sorry. I
Sometimes
thought I lost you there for a second. Go ahead.
yeah. Sometimes you got to position yourself because see, Mr. Scotland, I don't know, man. This Mike, he was made for the city. He used to really sleep on that kind of things, right? And he had used to that like a remote. So sometimes you got to time you're watching the other person over the other side, and they might time and pull back and try to use a tone that might not pitch to him. If he hears something and he looks, right? And I'm not trying to defend him here. Sometimes he's paying attention to say, well, did I really hear this or what? But you remember the mic is not on. It's not to say like you're standing up on the floor and speaking like what you saw in that video there. But it happened. It happened just across. And
When
because
when
how the
when
parliament,
you were in Parliament, I believe this incident happened. That member of Parliament, Vishwa Mahadeo, raised up a dildo in Parliament. Were you in Parliament then?
well, if it's the last parliament, I can't see you reading clearly. If it's the last parliament, definitely I never
So
missed parliament.
a lot of young people, man, are watching. They listen to parliamentary debates and so forth. Is this the level that it has gotten to?
I mean, it's nothing there. Even sitting there, I had said before, Mark, I believe that since in the Barnum time when they fought for independence and this and that and that and that, um, coming out from there, and even when I was there, what is it, the parliament, what are we achieving as a people, as a nation? Just go in there and pass this budget, get some money, change a law and fix a bill to suit what, and you understand what I mean? And it really saddened what happens. You would listen to a debate in the parliament, and so much in the parliament you can't say lies. You got to say untrue, and so many things that is said that is not true, and then the other person get up and say, listen, rebunk everything that was said based on facts, and that is still left right there on the records. So you're not, persons are not even held accountable anymore that listen to come into parliament. If you are going to make reference of something, you have to have the evidence. If it's a newspaper clipping or if it's a report, you got to name the report that it is coming out from and all of that. People just get up in the parliament and just talk, right? A lot of times it's not even debate. It's
All
just
right.
talk.
So let's go over now to the suspension of Sherrod Duncan, the Speaker of the National Assembly. This is the only. Sorry that my second is taking so long. I'll promise you next time that I wouldn't say a second. I'll say half a second. But Mansour Nadir, this is the only photograph I have of him and his wife in their PVPC t-shirts and so forth. And the people are reminded that he's just basically sitting there serving the interest of the PPPC. But do you think it was a right decision he made to suspend Sherrod Duncan for 4 sittings?
Well, I wouldn't say Sherrod. Nobody should be allowed to disrespect the speaker, but the speaker of himself got to hold respect and hold himself accountable. You got to earn that respect.
But before
Because
you continue, Ms. Broomes, nobody disrespected the speaker. In fact, the dildo comment was sufficient enough for anybody to conclude that that person, Dharamlal, disrespected not only the Guyanese people, not only women, but he disrespected the Speaker of the
and
National Assembly.
yeah, and I'm not saying that Sherrod did. That's not the point I'm making. I was just
Fair
coming
enough.
off because persons like to run away with their own narratives.
Sure.
And so I just wanted to make that broad, painted broad that, hey, I am not saying, but what I'm saying in the particular matter, the speaker sat down there and as if what was said by the member of parliament, like that was appropriate, and wait and allowed for Sherrod to come in and to say, hey, how we can have something like this going on in this honorable house? This is a disrespect. That is the only time the speaker caught himself and know that, listen, I'm in charge of the house. So you get up and read, give me a standing order. And most times, even the standing order that is quoted in the house is not even the correct standing order. It happens a lot of time. Right? And then to move a standing order and then to show and listen, I am in control here and you can't speak. I am going to suspend you because it is in my power to do so. I mean, that is not professionalism at all. I have never in my years see any speaker, operates like that. And I believe I don't want to get a little biased here. When things come to women in the house, it's a whole different posture as against when it comes to the men. Because I had said I didn't break a standing order in the house. I didn't say anything. And Mrs. Scotland get up. I think the time Trotman had a little lash out with what's his name. And all because they had nobody in the house. I said, boom out. You and the whole world, then Scotland, find it to be like if I commit murder. But in the house, they had an exchange. And the speaker then didn't address what is happening in the parliament about the mail, but he made it seems like if, listen, it's me, like I bringing down this house. And I didn't do nothing. The sitting was not, nobody was not in the house. The parliament, I was in the building, was not in parliament. I was not in parliament when I said boom out. I was in the parliament building. right? And so when it comes to how the treatment matters, and I'm talking to the parliament, I mean outside, I think that they always look to come over like, oh, maybe because a lot of these speakers are men, like, hey, you know? But when something is said to you by a male or anything like that, I don't think they see it the same way. I've never enjoyed that level of equality in the house. And I would be bold enough to say the same level of respect. And this is how I feel. These are just my personal views. And I don't know, Mark, you quarter second on why you want to bring me down to have some conversations on certain matters. But I always know you to be a very respectful, smart guy and say, listen, I don't really get room steady. And just tell her I want her for a minute, a second, and just get her on here. You had all this pile up with Parliament, dildo. I mean, you're doing an amazing job by bullying me as a female, subtly, smoothly, with all respect.
Well, all you have to do is next time tell me boom out. That's all. Boom out.
I wouldn't do that.
I got you, but there's so much that we can talk about though. But I
Yes.
always appreciate the fact that once you're available, you say, "Hey, I'm available. I have nothing to run from. I am here to
Yeah.
talk to you, and to, by extension, talk to
Yeah.
the people." And I'm always thankful of that. But let me apologize for using the just a couple of seconds to
It's
you.
okay.
I promised that I would never use that back with you again. Just a couple of seconds. But before we go, are you still a politician or not? I know you've resigned your position from the PNC. Are you still politically active, and do you see yourself as a politician or just retired?
I love politics. I love politics. I've never said that I'm done with politics. I've never said that. Never said that. All I'm saying could only get better.
Sure.
I can only get better in it. I understand it better and all of that. I'm a principled person. And I'm not into things because, it's just there, it's an opportunity and all of that. Um, but I think Guyana has find itself in some uncharted waters for the last couple of years. And I want to really understand. I want to be able to, what I mean, look out and people really look forward to you as leaders. Everybody might, you run to the parliament, yeah, whatever status score or what is it. I don't have to be sitting in the National Assembly um, or be in any political party to serve my country. And so this is my own, like I said, for personal reasons. And I'm dealing with stuff, I'm enjoying it and all of that. But I've never said any time at all, never, that I'm done with politics, right? I'm fully in. I'm aware of what is happening. I'm paying attention. I have a mind of my own. Um, there's no veil over my eyes. There's no whispering taking place in the ear or anything at all. I'm just in a nice, comfortable space. I like the space that I'm in right now, and it is just for now. It's just for now.
Just for now, thank you so much. I appreciate the fact that you've extended my just a couple of seconds to almost 1 hour. Thank you so much. And that
Wow.
just for now says to me that Brooms will return on the political battlefield when the time is right.
When the time is right. When the time is right.
Thank you so much. Thank you
And
so much for your
Mark, and
time.
thanks to all your viewers. And like you said, always feel free. I think there's a lot of topic outside of just not responding to people and all of that. I love how you brought in certain questions, but always feel free. Maybe we need to talk. Sometimes we can have like a reasoning. Let's have some conversation. Let's have some talks. Real talks. That is. Let us the truth put it out there in the air. What really take place in the parliament? Is this? Is this that? You know what I mean? Um, because people got this perception, people got this mindset. Long ago you're a child and you're just wondering what in there looks like, and how it really operates. I was looking forward to great debates and learning and all that. But when I got through the door, I was like, okay, oh, Not impressed, but it is what it is. Thanks to your viewers, and please be safe, and we all in this together. My heart desire is for Guyanese to enjoy the best, and people at large in the world to have the best life, because that is the desire of the creator, yeah. Not that people you know we just hating on each other, but that we learn to love each other. So Mark, I love you same way. Even if you go an hour, half hour, 3/4 hour, you're just doing it out of the heart, for the best of all. We need to keep the conversation going.
Thank you. We will keep that conversation going, especially in the area of Mr. Sue, where we started. And I
Well,
hope
I ain't not going with so
I hope that those who ought to be talking about Mr. Sue and the serious allegations leveled against them,
Yeah.
we know Jagdeo being that one. We should remain focused on that and not be diverted. Thank you so much for your time, Ms. Brooms. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. The
Bye bye.
matter is no joke.
Thank you.
Blessings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you heard there, the Simona Broomes set the record straight. There's no business affiliation. There's nothing, no business connection. There is no connection at all with this guy, Mr. Sue. Mr. Sue, there's no connection there at all. Um, as indicated earlier, I tried to get in touch with Mr. Joseph Harmon, the former leader of the opposition, to respond to concerns as to whether, and sometimes we set the record straight, right? Because we know the PPP likes to divert attention. But the reason for wanting to set the record straight is so that we let the public know that what the PPP is doing is attempting to divert attention from the real issue. And what is the real issue? Well, the real issue is not whether, sorry, the real issue is not whether Joe Harmon knows Sue. The real issue is not whether Simona Broomes knows Sue, because there has been no allegations, as far as I'm aware, no allegations leveled against Mr. Harmon, no allegations that were leveled against Miss Broomes. All that little boy is saying on his little tiny page is that hinting that there's a possibility that Simona Broomes knows Sue, which she said she doesn't. He was also hinting that there's a possibility that Miss Simona Broomes has some sort of business dealings with Mr. Sue, which she has said flat out, no, not at all. I don't know whether that is the same with Mr. Harmon. And I say that because I want Mr. Harmon now to say whether he knew or he knows Sue or not. That is all. I am so far unable to get Mr. Harmon to respond to concerns as to whether he knows Sue or not. Mr. Harmon has not addressed the issue about whether he knows Sue or not. However, I put forward several questions to Mr. Harmon. Those questions have not been answered. He did say that he is caught up at the moment, but he will get back to me at an appropriate time. And I trust that he will get back at an appropriate time. If not, I will get back to remind him that he promised to get back to me. Now, let's go to this photograph here. This is a photograph of when Mr. Harmon and others were on their way to China. Some folks are probably of the view that one of those Chinese men, businessmen there in that photo, might be Sue. I know some of you might be asking the question whether Sue is in that photograph. And maybe this is why that little boy jumped to conclusion, or maybe somebody's whispering something in his ears, and so he's so confused that he just rushed out to put something out there, right? So Sue is not in this photograph with Mr. Harmon and those other folks there. Sue is not in that photograph. However, based on information that I have, because with this whole Sue thing started, I just don't leave any stone unturned. I'm not like Irfan Ali, who says that he's going to leave no stone unturned, and then people just he leaves people in the dark and leave them hanging, especially in the area of justice, right? As he has promised the Henry Boyce family. Now let us go back to this Sue situation, right? No allegations, absolutely none, was leveled against Mr. Harmon. Sue did not speak with, I repeat, Sue did not speak with vice reporter and leveled any allegations of corruption against Mr. Harmon.
Hello?
Hi. Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Mr. Sue?
Who's it?
Mr. Sue?
Who's it?
Hi, how are you, Mr. Sue? Ni hao ma?
Who?
Mr. Sue, how are you?
Hello?
Mr. Sue, how are you?
Yeah, who's it?
This is Mark. You're Mr. Sue, right? Yeah, Mark.
Ma?
Yeah, ni hao ma.
Huh?
Ni hao ma.
Yeah.
Are you,
Hello?
Mr. Sue, how are you?
Who?
You're Mr. Sue?
Who's it?
This is Mark, Mr. Sue. How are you?
Mark, from where?
Mark from 107.1 FM, Mr. Sue. How are you doing?
Who?
Mr. Sue, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. Now, I know you heard of the allegations from Vice News in that interview, right?
Uh-huh.
Now, you have since denied that. Are those allegations true or not?
No true.
But how long have you been living at Jagdeo's house?
No, the people just, I don't know what them do it. They never do nothing there. You understand?
Yeah. So how long have you been living at Jagdeo's house?
Huh?
How long have you been living at Jagdeo's house?
Who's you? Hello?
Yeah. How long have you been living at Jagdeo's house?
For 1 year now.
Okay. So how much rent do you pay every month?
I pay 1.2.
1.2 million Guyana dollars?
Yeah.
Now
Where you from?
when Vice News interview you, did they put you on camera?
No.
Did they record you?
I don't know nothing there.
Okay, so do you
I
know?
don't know what them do it.
Oh, so you don't know?
No, I don't know nothing there.
So why would they lie? Why would they lie on you? Are they lying on you, Mr. Sue?
I don't know why he lies for me. Them people claim to place. I don't know. It's no true. I tell you, 100% no true. They not think this. You understand what I said?
So did you, when you met with Mr. Jagdeo, because he met you, he called you over, what did you guys discuss?
No, just the people come in West and Kerala. So that's it.
So, and you issued a statement. Who wrote the statement for you in English?
I get the translator. Okay?
I got you. So
Yeah, thanks.
who?
Yeah.
Let me ask before you go, Mr. Su. Before you go, the APNU coalition government. Did you have a good relationship with them?
No, the people is friend, you know. I don't know nothing for them. You understand? I in the road, I drive, you know. You understand? Everything is no true. Mark, everything no true. I tell you.
So let me ask you this here. When you paid you for 1 year, you've been living at Jagdeo's house. You pay him cash or?
I went the house. You know.
So do you pay him through the bank or cash?
I pay open the check. I pay for the check.
Which bank? Because I want to know which bank.
Where you coming from?
No. Which bank? Is it? Is because I know there's several banks. Is it GBTI?
Where you from?
Mr. Su.
Yeah.
Let's not play. I'm here to. I am.
You know, I pay for
No.
the check.
No. I know I'm not coming anywhere with the check. I'm here to help you. So you pay him with check, right?
Yeah, that's it.
So let me ask you this. Do you know?
Johnson, everybody was plan something different, you know. I is businessman, I don't want headache, I don't want nothing it's not true, you know. I want everything is no when the news is not true, it's best. It's not good for everybody, you understand? I pay for the check. I pay for the every month. How much money? That's it. You understand what? Hello?
So yeah, I'm here. I'm listening to you. So when was the last time Mr. Jagdeo called you?
We spend a cold steady Atlanta, you know.
You guys meet and discuss stuff steady.
No, I spend, you know, I just made the call and thing is nothing. And I was saying anything, I call you back, okay? I tell my secretary call you, okay?
Oh, so that's what you guys do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, thanks very much, sir.
Oh, well, before you go, how long have you been doing business in Guyana, Mr. Su?
I do business long time, maybe 20 years long.
And you do not give politicians bribe. You have never given a politician a bribe.
I don't have a lot thing for politician. I don't do a lot thing for politician, you know. I just do my own business.
So,
Okay.
So do you know politicians in the APNU?
Mark, please. Be sure you like friend. You know, I don't want you don't put too much headache for me. I don't want everything I tell you is true. You want to, I talk to you, everything is true. You understand? I don't want, I told you, I don't put nothing headache for anybody. You understand? I do it. The news is no true. The news talking is no true. You understand?
So,
Please.
so you don't know of any politician that take bribe and corruption. You don't know.
I don't know nothing for this. You understand? Mark, you say you name Mark. Okay, please, sir. I tell you, everything I do is street business. I know nobody nothing. You understand?
Forget God? You've made so. Why would Vice News go and say that you said those things and they're not true according to you? Why would they do that to you, Mr. Su?
Mark, please. I don't understand voice. You understand? I don't talk English properly. I don't understand English too much. I learn English from the people talking for me. I also, you know, I never go school for the English. I don't want to talk anything something different. You know. Mark, please. Excuse me, sir. I don't do nothing wrong.
No, I'm not saying that you did anything wrong. I'm not saying that. No.
Please, Mark, me and your friend, okay? And please don't put any pressure for me. I small businessman, you understand? I'm working hard for my business.
Yeah.
I don't know why the people put me in trouble, put me under headache. You understand? Please, you talking true for everybody and doesn't. Anybody like the true talking and good business doesn't. You understand? Please, please, please.
Now, how do I know that you are Sue? Let me see here. When you talk to Jagdeo, which cell number you talk with him on? 62. Which one of the numbers?
Only one number he got.
Which one?
Only 624, 624-7625. That's it. Only one number.
624-7625. Yeah.
You know, Mark, please. Excuse me.
Yeah, I know how you feel, Mr. Sue, and I'm not here to badger you in any way.
Yeah, I told you, I talked to you today. You understand? I told you, I really told you. Use this good, talking good thing, you know. I know involved for a lot of things. You understand? Please. Mark, please lose me. Please, I know do nothing wrong. You understand?
No, I'm not saying that you did anything wrong, Mr. Sue. I'm not saying that at all.
Mark, I small boy. I working hard for my money in Kerala. You understand? I like see the country. I like see any country going good. Anybody going good. Everybody look for business. They work for equal business. Work for hard work and then money and then does it. Chinese people want. You understand?
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I'm not saying you did anything wrong. So those lumber, you're into lumber and so forth, right?
Yeah. I do lumber. I'm working hard for lumber. I like other working and got the lumber for the wood and send the wood. That's it. Mark, please. I want to put on the phone now. You know, stirs my head hot and bad.
All right. So quickly before we go, because I don't want folks to think that.
Okay, please. Yeah. I want to put on the food. I told you is good people, good guy.
How do you, one second. How do you know that I'm a good guy?
You're a good guy and asking good question. Yeah, then asking two questions. Then people go in the back and put a lot of guy put parting, other guy low true is low good at that. You asking me everything I know, I talk to you. That's it.
Fair
when
enough.
you come to Guyana, when you're in Guyana, okay, maybe when you come to Guyana, when you get time, me and you sit on no problem. You understand?
Mr. Sue, I thank you so much for your time. But by the way, Toja. Now, yeah.
Please, you working street keeper and talking street everything from the news. You understand? And I swear to God, I know to Lord things wrong. This time, I don't know why I do it. I'm working very, very hard for my money. Everybody spend a heavy, you know, and I got paid this shares. I'm working why I got so much headache. You understand? Mark, please help me out. Please. Low talk, and I talk to you, everything is true.
Yeah.
And I no trouble, nothing, no pay, no body, nothing. And I was up to now, I went the house, and I it's nothing long. You understand? I be rent for, I be check, I be everything is hidden business. You understand? The money, I know, I working hard for money. Please, Mark, I trust you. I think you is good guy. I hope you're good guy. I talk to you, it's very good. You understand?
Yeah, Mr.
The businessman. Please, you help me businessman.
Mr. Sue,
sometimes here my English good. I never go English school level to school like that. You understand? Just the people talk English and I learn from there. Like you talk to me, I learn. You understand? I got learn from my head and study the English. I don't want that to play long thing. Please lose me.
Look, I will lose you. That's okay, Mr. So, one sec.
When you get high,
1 second. You are Sue DeRong, right?
Yeah.
Sue, what's your last name?
Truly wrong.
Yeah, I know that's you. And I get your date of birth.
Good.
I get your date of birth down of 1960. What is your date? What's your date of birth?
Mark.
I'll let you go, Mr. Sue. I'll let you go.
Okay, good. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Have a great day. Good.
Thank you.
Sure.
Please lose the business people,
Yeah. Thank you.
Mark, I want file from you now.
Yep.
Where you from?
Yep. We will talk. I will give you a buzz later on. Thank you, though, Mr. Sue. Appreciate it.
Mark, why you don't want to talk to me? Where you there? Where you please? I talk everything. You tell me. I talk for you. I up to now. You never give me the.
I will call you back later on because I need to talk to you some more, though, Mr. Sue. Thank you.
Mark, you tell me talk to you. Why you don't want to give me the information?
I will text that information to you. I will talk to you. Thank you.
Mark, why? Yeah, I told you why you don't talk to me.
I will talk to you. I will talk to you later on. All right?
Mark,
yes.
I told you must trust me.
Okay. If we're talking about trust, then feel comfortable to tell me because
I don't know who is you. You asking me question, I talk to you.
I am with 107.1 FM, right?
107.1 mm and from Kerala.
FM, yeah.
Okay, thanks, Mark. Thanks very much. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. But you can feel free to tell me what you know.
No, I know. I talk everything for you.
All right.
I happy,
Thank you.
And the people don't know I feeling.
Thank you.
He put too much thing, and he don't know the people how feeling.
Thank you. Yeah.
When you talk to me, I very happy.
All right, but I appreciate you though. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Oh. All right, look, here's what. Let's get to the bottom of this. I've noticed some of your comments about that voice and that is not Mr. Sue. I can tell you guys that I am 99% certain that voice was the voice of Mr. Sue. I called Mr. Sue and I've been trying to get Mr. Sue ever since the story broke. It so happened that I get Mr. Sue. I finally got on to Mr. Sue, right? Via the very number, the same number, right? I got onto him via the same number, Mr. Sue's number. And of course, I have the record of the number. He has given out a phone number alleging, he's saying that is Jagdeo's number in order to prove that he is Mr. Sue, right? He has also said that he pays Jagdeo a total of $1.2 million per month in rent. $1.2 million in rent per month, right? 1.2 million. Those are things that I am going to go with, right, as sufficient evidence from me at this stage to believe that was actually Mr. Sue, right? That was actually Mr. Su. I have no reason not to believe that person. You've got to be able to read between the lines, his tone of voice and everything. I am convinced that was Mr. Su. The evidence, sufficient evidence that he gave, right? This is no skit. This is no skit. It is nothing other than the fact that I called the number that I've had a while now since the story broke. And guess what? Guess what? I finally got through to the individual who answered that phone, Mr. Su's number. So this is no situation for me to come and sit here and pretend to you that somebody else is Mr. Su when in fact it's not Mr. Su. I called his number. He said what he had to say. He said that he communicates with Jagdeo via a 624 number. But yet we are seeing some folks, some of them probably fake page, saying that that's not Su and that is Su. All right, that is Su. And this is not to attack Su in any way, shape, or form personally. This is not to attack Su. It is to get to the bottom of the major allegations of bribery and other forms of corruption, as what we heard via Vice News. And for those of you who are now joining us, or probably didn't hear of the allegations, hear the allegation level against Jagdeo, according to what we heard in from Vice News, that Mr. Su allegedly said.
Source.
Okay, well,
Maybe the Chinese company that did not get the agreement that they wanted here, maybe they're the ones who told you, or it could be just a fictitious thing.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Jerome?
So my relationship? Nothing. He's a tenant in my place, yeah.
And he's a good friend of yours?
Yes, yes. He is a friend of ours. His father was here from many years ago.
I mean, he lives next door to you.
Yes.
You know, he was able to arrange meetings and catch-ups with you at any point in the day. He claims
As a friend, yeah.
He claims that through his very close relationship with you, he's able to get any deal done.
Well, I don't know
and
if
he's
that's.
able to change laws for investors.
But then which law has?
All right, let's move away from that. We don't want to hear that crap. He should have been taken in by the police to be questioned whether the allegations are accurate or not, and just the police should have already taken a statement from Jagdeo on the matter. Should have taken on the matter, right? Should have taken on the matter. So later on, I would talk about, because I'll be back this evening on Straight Up. And don't forget, coming up at 7 o'clock, that's at 8 o'clock Guyana time, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, there'll be the Dinesh Jaiprashad show, right? But I'll be back at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. That is 9 o'clock Guyana time. But look at these two guys. You remember there was elections in 2011, November, right? November 2011. And just a month, prior to the elections, this guy, Bharat Jagdeo, who was sitting then as the president of the country, actually did this, even as he was about to get out of office. And not only that, this is what he did. He gave a guy, Irfan Ali, who was then the minister, and this is according to the information we see here, and this Muhammad Ali, we're told, is Irfan Ali, who was at that time the minister of housing. He gave him a heck of a lot of land, right? Look at it, and look at the date, right? Look at the date, 2011. October 25th, just before the November 2011 elections, a big portion of land. And then when they got into office, albeit under questionable circumstances, they start to persecute individuals on the PPP regime. They started to persecute individuals who gotten just a piece of land, a little house lot, and these different things. So I just thought that I show that sort of hypocrisy, and you guys see what is happening in Guyana. All right, so guess what? I'll be back later on this evening. Thank you so much for your time. And thanks, Simona Broomes, for clearing the air up. Thanks to Mr. Sue for spending a few minutes with us on that. Surprisingly, I caught him phone call. Thanks again, Sue. Sue said he wants to speak the truth. He is speaking the truth. That is according to Mr. Sue. So I noticed some of you with, you guys got to be able to read between the lines. I can almost put my head on the block that was Mr. Sue. So let's stop with the doubting Thomases and so forth. That was Mr. Sue, right? That was Mr. Sue. I've been trying to get Mr. Sue for over 2 weeks now. I finally got on to Mr. Sue. Someone answered his phone, said that he is Mr. Sue, and I have no reason, absolutely no reason to disbelieve that that person is Mr. Sue, whose number is right here on my phone, right here. All right, I'm not in the game of playing tricks and skits and these sorts of things. Maybe go to the PPP shows them for skits and shows and propaganda. I do not do that here. But I'll be back later this evening, right here on 107.1 FM.
She put a pot on she hair and gone. Them a the first one out on the dam. Basket on she head, bucket in each hand. Hold up on she frock, I wanna she grandson. To the market, them a go. For the morning, the day is dawning. For cockcrow to give the villagers a warning. Rise and shine, the birds them a sing. All animal take turn as them join in the waking. Cockcrow, dagaba, donkey, bray, horse, and they even duck a quack. Cockcrow, dagaba, donkey, bray, horse, and they even duck a quack. Come and hear this sweet story that tell the people about life in the country. All day a back down, me now I come home. Inaga, jackass yard for fetch the load. Cockle shy hand, bag over shoulder, running by his side, a Rexy and Rover. From the farm, them a come. Sun a go down but up the river. Some washing clothes, some folks are bathing at the water. Fisherman, they catch them a bring. From a canoe boat, man, them start offloading. Aymara, Kwakwari, Hail Baka, Kuma, even Lokonani.